Hi, this is Joe Crump. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create enough automated monthly cash flow to quit your job. And I'm going to show you how to do it in 6 months or less. Most folks who join my 6-month mentor program and come to my 2-day buying events start with one major goal in mind. They want to create enough monthly cash income so they can quit their job and become full-time real estate investors. Some folks come to me who are currently unemployed and need to generate cash immediately. Some of them make $40,000 or $50,000 a year and want to replace it. Some of them make a high six-figure income in their current job and need to replace that amount before they can quit. I've had people in every one of these categories accomplish exactly what they set out to do. Many of them exceeded the income they previously made on their jobs and dramatically reduced the amount of hours they needed to work in order to do it. When they started, almost all of them were ready to do something different than what they were currently doing. They were sick of their jobs, sick of not being in control of their lives. They wanted true freedom. Freedom that allows them to decide how to spend their days. Freedom that allows them to give good things in life to the ones they love. Freedom to take a day or a week or a month off and not have to answer to a boss again. They wanted the true American dream, and they wanted it now. The only way to accomplish this is by getting the money rolling in as quickly as possible. It's too easy to get discouraged if it takes too long. I know this from experience. It's got to be quick. I engineered my 6-month mentor program and my 2-day buying events to make it happen very quickly, and it works amazingly well. In fact, the very first hour of the very first day at my event, you'll learn a simple technique for controlling real estate and making chunks of cash without using your money or your credit or relying on anyone else's. And you'll be able to do transactions without risk. And that very day, I'll have you making no-risk offers on real estate right from the conference room. For a first-timer, it's exciting and even a little bit scary. How many of you have actually made offers on houses in your own town from a remote location without ever seeing it, without doing any due diligence, doing it over the phone, without spending a dime, without taking any risk, without using your credit or needing to set up any elaborate private money schemes? Not very many, I'll bet. There isn't anything particularly sexy about how we do these deals. It's simple, really, if you just have the right knowledge. As a matter of fact, it's kind of old-fashioned the way I set it up. I've been doing transactions similar to this since I started in the business back in 1986. That's a lot of years. This method has worked for me and my students all over the country and in far corners of the world like Australia, the UK, Europe, Malaysia, and Canada. It has continuously worked in up markets and down markets, high-end markets, low-end markets, luxury home markets, and junker markets. It's the only method I know of that hasn't been affected by the economy over these years, or by the value of property in a specific area, or by the availability of loans or credit, or by the condition of a property, or the condition of the city that property sits in. All you need to implement it is a telephone and a newspaper. I can tell you now, it's not rocket science. You can learn it in an hour one morning and be making real, bona fide offers before lunch. Ethical, honorable offers that you can stand behind. Offers that you can follow through on. Offers that'll make you chunks of cash and take very little time to implement. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do the morning of the first day at my 2-day buying event. By lunchtime, you'll be making real offers to real sellers. We find that 1 out of every 3 sellers my newbie students make offers to say yes. After lunch, I'll show you how to get streams of buyers contacting you who want to buy these houses from you and give you a quick $3,000 to $20,000, depending on the property. I'll show you how we sell these houses very, very quickly. Our record is 5 minutes. 5 minutes that put $5,000 into one of my students' pockets. Once you understand how to get the houses, once you learn how to sell them and take a quick chunk of money you can put in your pocket and do whatever you want with, once you understand this and actually do it, then you'll know how to quit that job and how to replace your income. This will be the foundation of your business. This is how your money will be made. But let's say it takes more than 5 minutes to do a deal. Unfortunately, most of the time it does. Every time I ask one of my newbie students how long it took them to do their first deal, how much time they had in the deal, most of them say 8 to 10 hours. So even if they only made $3,000 on a deal and it took 10 hours to do, they made $300 per hour. How many $3,000 to $5,000 deals do you need per month in order to replace your income? 1, 3, 4, 5, 4 deals at $5,000 a month would mean $250,000 of cash income per year. That's not equity. That is cash in your pocket. Your business overhead in this process is very small if you use my systems. And if it takes 10 hours per deal, that's 40 hours of work per month, not week, per month. Okay, expect for most of you that sounds pretty good. More income, less work. But what if I could reduce the amount of work you have to do deals like this? What if I could show you a way to make it easier to automate everything, to create a true push-button method? What if I could show you a way to never make an outbound call again, and only to take calls from motivated, ready-to-go sellers who understand how you work and want to work with you? You don't have to worry about building credibility. You don't have to worry about buying leads. You don't have to do a bunch of due diligence on properties that wastes your time and burns your energy. You spend your time watching your system run the business for you. You only do the highest value tasks that take the least amount of time. You watch the leads come in and see them processed and watch your bank account grow as money's deposited for you. Eventually, you extract yourself from the business entirely and it runs itself. That is what I do, and that's what gives me time to teach it to you. I know this sounds far-fetched, like some kind of get-rich-quick scheme, but I tell you, it is no get-rich-quick scheme. If that's what you want, go someplace else. If you don't do what I tell you to do in this program, you won't make a dime. What I teach is a business-building program, and you have to treat it like a business, build it, tweak it, and then you'll be able to put it on autopilot. After that, you have to put your hand in as time passes and push a button here, tweak a knob there. You become the mastermind, the rainmaker, and things start happening around you that make you money. Not by magic. There's no magic here, even though it seems like it sometimes. It happens because you've taken my proven system and plugged yourself into it. You've taken the automation, the outsourcing, all the push-button techniques I teach, and started the engine. Now it's running on its own and generating its own capital, its own steam, sort of a perpetual motion machine. It didn't happen overnight. You may have struggled a bit to get all the pieces in place, but you stuck with it, and now you've got a business that'll serve you for the rest of your life. Now you have your freedom, and you determine how much money you're going to make. There's a very clear path you need to take to create this reality. I'm going to give you that path right now, that step-by-step system. Step 1, do this. Step 2, do that. On and on. I've taken many, many students down this path to freedom in the past, and I'll take many more down it in the future. Some of them started, but then fell to the wayside. They didn't follow through. They didn't do what I told them to do. A lot of them didn't even take the first step. They gave up because life got in the way. Maybe they were afraid of their own success. They gave up on their dream, and I honestly can't say I always understand why. God knows this program isn't cheap. But the ones who did, the ones who took those little baby steps at my buying event, the ones who did what I told them to do in the order I told them to do it, well, you can watch the video interviews I did with some of them. You can read their stories, hear the audios. There are lots of them on my site from all over the country and all over the world. The 2-day buying event is all day, Saturday and Sunday. We also get together on Friday night, the night before, usually in the lounge at the hotel where we're meeting. This gives me a chance to meet you face-to-face, to learn your story, to hear your goals. It's always easier to teach someone when I know their face, hear their dreams in person, make that connection. It also gives you a chance to meet the other folks in my program. Some of them are old veterans, at what I teach, making a load of money now, and they come back to learn the new stuff we came up with since the last event. Or maybe they want to pick my brain about how to expand their business, doubling it or tripling it sometimes in just a few short months. Or maybe they just want to brag a little. That's a lot of fun to hear. Some of the folks there are brand new, the greenest, newest real estate investors you've ever seen who don't know the difference between a title and a deed. The vets help the newbies. They remember what it was like the first time they came. They remember the folks who helped them, and they're there to pass it forward to the next group. Until you've experienced a group like this, I doubt that you ever have any idea what I'm talking about. When you sign up for the 2-day buying event, you also get enrolled in my 6-month mentor program. It's better if you've been in that program a few weeks or months before the event, because that way, when you come to the event, it won't be so much like drinking from a fire hose. You won't just be struggling to learn the basics. You'll be getting the nuance of the process. The beginners are trying to figure out how to do their first deal. The vets are spending their time learning how to build their systems, automating their work, and then start building a portfolio of real estate that they keep and hold and will eventually make them wealthy. I guess I haven't really talked about building your portfolio of homes that you'll buy without money or credit, and will make you chunks of cash when you find buyers, that you'll hold over the long term, and then eventually have real assets that you can live on and eventually pass down to your heirs. The first step is talking to sellers. The second is finding buyers. The third is automating the process. The fourth is outsourcing. The fifth is building your portfolio and extracting yourself from the business. I'm going to teach you all these steps and every little step in between, and I'm going to make you a master real estate investor. No one will hold a candle to your knowledge. Everyone will think you're an old veteran at this, even if you've only been in the business a few months. I'm not exaggerating. This happens to my students all the times. If you want to continue after the 6-month program, I've got some ways to make that happen too. This is an expensive program, and it's not going to get any cheaper. After several years of keeping the price down, I've finally decided to raise it. But I'm not going to do that until this upcoming buying event is over. My philosophy has always been to keep my group small. I only work with 100 people a year. That means over a 6-month program, no more than 50 people at a time. When I have more than that wanting to sign up, the best way to drop the membership again is to raise the price. I know a lot of you want to do this program but haven't been able to afford it, and this is just going to make it even more difficult for you, and for that I'm sorry. But I have to move forward. I have to keep this program a viable business. That's the only way to sustain it. And I've never been ashamed of the fact that I don't do this as a charity and that I make a lot of money doing it, but I also do it because I love it. I love to see people change their lives. You have no idea what kind of good karma that brings and how well I sleep at night because of it. With that said, I also have a few things that I require from you before I let you join. I make these requirements because I have to personally work with you, and there are some people I'm not willing to work with. If you decide the program's right for you, I want you to read over the webpage about the program to make sure you understand how it works and what it includes. After you do, I'd like you to call me. My phone number's on the site. I want to talk to you personally. Please don't call unless you have the resources to do it and are willing to follow through with the program the way I tell you. I don't need people trying to reinvent the wheel. I love input from my students, and I've learned a huge amount watching them work. But in the beginning, when you get started, trust the fact that I know what I'm doing and follow my lead. Also, don't call if you're a whiner or a complainer. People like that are poison, and I don't want them in my life or mucking up my group. Right now, this program costs $10,000. Like I said before, it's not cheap. But if you qualify, there are some discounts and even a payment plan where I'll personally finance a large part of the program for you. If you do it that way, you can get started with as little as $2,000. When I raise the price, I haven't yet decided how much higher I'm going. There aren't any programs out there like mine that give you all the things I give you, who don't try to sell you anything else once you join, and who give you an opportunity to work directly with the guy who created the system, to become part of his inner circle. I've been watching the prices go up on these other programs. I expect you've seen them out there. Some of them are $25,000, $50,000. I saw one recently that cost $75,000. I know that sounds like a lot, but if they work, it's not really a bad price. Attorneys and doctors spend twice that much to get through college, so they can start making a 6-figure income. Of course, it takes them 9 or 10 years before they make a dime, and even then, they have to work for slave wages a few years after they get their degree. If you bought a franchise business, a business with a proven system in place, say a Subway sandwich store, you could make free and clear, after expenses, $50,000 or $60,000 a year if you're in a good location. You only have to work 60 or 70 hours a week, and by the way, you had to pay $300,000 or $400,000 to set it up. So maybe paying $10,000 isn't such an expensive price after all. Well, that's it for now. Go check out my website with the program. It's at zerodowninvesting.com. You can also watch some of the video interviews that I did with my students at zerodowninvesting.com/case study HTML. This is all case sensitive, so make sure you type it into your browser exactly as you see it here. There's also a link below on this page. And there's another link to an interview with me. I explain the kind of details we do, the kind of deals we do on that video, so it'll give you an idea of actually what we're actually doing, the actual technique. You may even be able to get up and going on deals like this just by watching this video. That's at joecrump.com/partner. Come to my 2-day buying event. Join the mentor program. It's all included in the price. Learn how to turn your life around, gain your freedom, and never worry about money again. For those of you who are ready, I look forward to hearing from you, meeting you, working with you, and hopefully partnering on deals with you in the near future. Whatever you decide, I wish you and your family all the best of all good things. This is Joe Crump, signing off.